Welcome to another episode of Aston1936.com. Unfortunately, this is another fix-it-yourself episode. Recently, I was driving home, pulled into my garage, I opened my car door, and I heard a little clunk. And as any British car owner that's been around a while knows, is you should see what fell off your car. And lo and behold, I look out, and I find a little piece sitting on the ground. And I pick it up and I see that it's got the leather from my car, and it doesn't take me more than a second to look back and see that it's fallen out of the end of my door card door cap area. And you can see that it's designed to sit in there. A little look at the back, you can see there's a double-sided piece of tape to stick it to a little tab that's sitting on the inside of the door. So anyways, it's probably because of the heat. I live in California that the tape is finally let go, kind of like it did in my headliner. And in this segment, I'm going to show you how to fix it. So to repair the end cap that's fallen off, I went out and got myself a roll of Scotch outdoor grade exterior mounting tape. Essentially, you can sort of see. The reason I picked this is because it's actually got some foam in between, and it's got a little beef to it. Because when I was looking at the old sticky pad, there's actually a little bit of foam there. So I just thought I'd get the stickiest, strongest holding outdoor Scotch foam tape, and I got I think that's an inch wide kind of piece, so it's big enough that I can cut out a little patch to match. I also have a little bit of alcohol in case I have to wipe off any glue residue over on the car, some sort of measuring device to measure how big the pad is, and a knife or scissors to trim the piece of the foam tape that you'll be using. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the old foam tape. The reason it fell off is because the glue had sort of given up, and you can actually see a couple of layers of where it's been on and off before, because there's actually a piece of foam tape on here, there's a piece of tape stuck to the foam tape, and then there's a piece of foam tape still on the car. So this is pretty easy, just peel it off. You can see it's coming away completely clean, so I won't need to use an alcohol wipe or anything. Now you might be tempted to cut your tape and stuff and stick it to this. Well, it's actually smarter, cut the piece and stick it on the car, because then it won't matter if you line this up right. The car part is the limiting factor. And so if you check out the blog, I actually went and I measured the piece you'll need, and I'm going to cut that in advance. But basically we need a piece that's about 3/4 of an inch by 7/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to use my trusty tape measure here, and I'm just going to put a little nick in the material at 3/4, and then just going to sort of eyeball down to 7/8, and then pull this off and just snip along the 3/4 line, and then snip along the 7/8 line. Alright, so there I have my double-sided foam tape ready to go back in the car, and I have my piece, so let's head on over to the car and stick it on. So here at the door you can see the second piece of foam that was left over. I'm going to try and peel this off. My guess is this was the factory original foam. That's not a bad thing, you just want to get the bulk of it off. If the gluey, sticky parts are still there, that's great, because we're just going to stick gluey, sticky stuff to it. We just don't want to put layer upon layer upon layer, because it'll start to keep the piece out proud. So there we go, and you can see the area is about 3/4 of an inch wide by 7/8 of an inch tall. And here's my piece that's going to cover it over. So I'm going to go ahead and align this. That's fitting pretty good. It doesn't matter that it's a little bit too big, or even if it was a little bit too small. I mean, you just need to hold this little piece of leather on, and I'm going to give it a good rub here to make sure it sticks down solid to the metal. And I'm going to peel off the, try to peel off the red. Alright, I've got it started, and I'm just going to carefully work the red layer off. There we go. That is some sticky tape. And then it's just a matter of, you get, your one shot to slide this in here. There we go. Just give it a nice press about where the tab is, and it just sits in there like that. Hopefully that helps you with your project.